went very well. It was a very productive meeting, and we agreed that we're going to be collaborative and work together on shared priorities. And some of the top shared priorities are transit, infrastructure, healthcare, and economic development. And we agreed that we're going to move forward and again, work together. There's always going to be things that we don't agree on, but let's work on the things that we do agree on, and that's a big chunk of it.
Right there. He trashed you every day in the campaign. Was there an apology or anything, or was it just about moving on?
You know something? The Prime Minister's family's been in politics for years. Our family's been in politics for years. It's politics. Now we have to do things that people want. People expect us to work together. We're the largest province. This is the federal government. And there's areas that we're going to work together. And I put together a council of ministers, of my top ministers, with infrastructure and transit and other areas to work with their ministers. And I thought it was a phenomenal meeting. I really do. Yeah.
On carbon pricing, did his climate change policies come up, like the carbon tax, like other ways to reduce emissions?
No, never came up. And our staff talked before. There's things that we're going to disagree on, things that we're going to agree on. But I think we really had a great meeting and really moved the ball down the field per se. And we look forward to building transit. We look forward to infrastructure. We have 351 projects right now. I think 83 of them have been approved, but we have to get the others moving down the lane there and get things going.
Are you still fully against the carbon tax thing?
We are, but I'm focusing on infrastructure, on things that matter, job creation. It's absolutely critical. Yes.
You were a part of the resistance we saw in that photo. Are you now trying to be the uniter when it comes? We know the premiers are meeting.
Well, you know what we have to do, folks. We have to send a message around the world that, yes, we're a big family and we may have a few bumps in the road, we may disagree, but we have to give businesses out there certainty. Because if you don't give businesses certainty, they'll leave. They'll leave and they'll invest in other areas, and we want them to stay here. And it's absolutely critical we unite the country and we stick together. I can't emphasize it enough. We have to stick together as a country and send the message to the rest of the world that we're Canada and we're ready to move forward as a united country.
Speaking of business certainty,
Yes.
should the Prime Minister recall Parliament to deal with the CN strike and legislate them back to work?
Well, that came up, CN. It's absolutely critical. I talked to an egg farmer that somehow got my number, like everyone else, and texted me last night, and it was Dan, actually. Dan texted me, and he's in a critical spot right now. So we have the propane. It's down in Sarnia right now, but there's 8 to 10 hour lineups with the trucks trying to get the propane up, and we're in a critical time right now, especially in the northern areas and the rural areas that rely on propane. And the Prime Minister mentioned he was up till midnight, and he has his ministers on it, and he's working hard to make sure they move forward. And calling back the legislature is one thing, but it doesn't. People think you can call it back and get it done right away, and they've said that about the teachers here in Ontario and so on and so forth. It doesn't happen right away. It takes a couple of weeks. We need immediate results. I take the Prime Minister on his word that he's going to continue working hard to bring both sides together and between the Teamsters and CN and get the trains moving again, as we say. Yes, I'm sorry,
You have links.
One
You seem to get along well with Jason Kenney. You seem to get along well with the Prime Minister now, and with Mr. Legault. When you talk a lot about unifying that country, what role do you want to play in that?
Well, we're bringing everyone on December the 2nd to Toronto, and I did mention to the Prime Minister that we do have to listen to the concerns of the people out west. They're hurting out there. I was out there in the summer, and you go to Calgary, half those buildings are empty there, and people are frustrated there in Saskatchewan, and we have to find common ground and support our friends out west. And I get along great with them. I get along great with Francois Legault. I'm going to see him next week as well, and we just have to calm the temperature, lower the temperature, and again, stick together as a country.
Premier,
Sorry.
Some of your closest advisors have been
Yes.
the most vocal critics of Andrew Scheer. Do you agree with them that he needs to change his how he talks about LGBTQ issues, how he talks about the gay community, and his actual policies on it?
Well, that's going to be up to Andrew Scheer. As I've mentioned before, I'm not getting into the federal, election and issues that might have happened during the election or not happened. And that's you're going to have to ask.
Should he stay on?
Rick, I can't answer that. That's going to be
Are
up
you
to the
afraid to
party.
answer? Are you afraid to answer that question?
No, I'm not afraid at all. I think the world of Andrew, and I think he did an incredible job during the election. Until you walk a mile in someone's shoes, I'm not out to criticize anything at all because, running in a federal election, going across the country, it's absolutely exhausting. I think he did an incredible job, and Andrew Scheer is a good man.
So you
He's
want him
a
to
very
stay?
good man.
You want him to stay?
Next question.
Do you think you should have made more use of kind of your support for Nation? And
Oh, I'm not. You know something? I'm not even worried about that election. As I said, I find it ironic at times that neither the Prime Minister or myself would even be elected if it wasn't for that cross voting, and I've never figured this out in Ontario, but they always like that balance for years, right? They like one party and then the opposite party in the federal government. So I get a tremendous amount of traditional Liberal voters, and obviously he did in the last election because we won the same ridings. And last question.
Pharmacare, and would you support a national pharmacare plan?
Well, we had that discussion, and we have a great OHIP Plus plan. And we have a robust private sector plan too for people getting covered. There's about 4% of the people that don't get covered, and they get covered under Trillium. But we'll sit down and talk to the rest of the premiers about that. And I know he's open-minded in working with all the premiers. And he wants to work with all the premiers. He wants a united country, and I look forward to helping along with making sure that we're united. Looking forward to working with them about the free trade agreement and Buy America, which I don't like, Buy American, because that affected our folks up in Thunder Bay. And
Okay, that's it. Thank you, guys.
What about the
Premier's
court
gotta get
decision,
going.
Premier?
Yeah,
Can
we're
you
gonna
just
go.
make a court decision on the student choice?
yeah, no, I can't right now. Okay, I look forward to you visiting me in Toronto.
Okay, I look forward to
thank
it.
you.
Bye.